Hi, I'm Brian Hogue with fellow host Sean Bagtel. Tonight here on Sleepy Hollow Theater, we have our guest for tonight, ORPIT. ORPIT is the Oil Region Paranormal Investigation Team. And with us we have Mark Fornoff, Ryan Ashbaugh, and Scott Robinson. Thank you guys for being here tonight. And what is it that, what is ORPIT? Explain to us that.
ORPIT is paranormal investigators. We do paranormal investigations. If you have a haunted house or you believe your house is haunted, we can go there and tell you whether it's haunted or whether it's not.
Okay.
So how did this team actually meet and organize?
Well, we were all acquaintances. We all knew each other. We all had a common interest in the paranormal, and we kind of went with that.
How long have you been doing this?
Me and Scott, about a year.
I've been doing it for about 2 years.
Okay.
Did any one of you have a paranormal experience in your lifetime prior to this that made this an interest you wanted to pursue?
I did about 9 years ago. It's a little awkward. It's about 9 years ago at establishment I was at. I actually had something that appeared to sit down on a bed beside me. There's nobody sitting beside me, but the bed indented down, and there, as I looked at it, there was an indentation in the bed, and I was the only one sitting on it. So that kind of sparked my interest and wanted to get answers. Actually, what was there?
Wow, that's understandable. When you go out on the field to conduct your investigations, what do you bring back with you? Do you bring pictures, video, audio?
Pretty much all of that. We use photos a lot. We have video cameras. We also use voice recorders. We have some other equipment for use for magnetic field, electronic magnetic field detectors. A lot of it's with personal experiences at the place also. You may have odd feelings, you might see something, but you don't actually get it captured on any piece of equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to research the places you go to beforehand, or do you just walk in cold?
We always do research before we go to a place that is supposedly haunted, see whether or not people have passed away there, or that something might be going on around the area that might cause something to look like it's a paranormal activity.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any pictures, photographs that you brought with us tonight?
Yeah, we actually brought 3. Yeah, we brought 3 of them.
Okay. Can we see some of those?
Yeah.
Okay. Over here, what's this first picture that we're looking at?
We'll let Mark describe this. Mark took this picture, actually.
Okay.
This is actually a picture of what we call a mist. We were in this room. It's called the opera room in the hotel that we're in. It was in the Knickerbocker Hotel in Linesville.
Okay.
It was Scott and another fellow investigator, Lindsay, and I that were. And Ryan, Ryan was in.
I wasn't in that room.
Ryan wasn't in the room. I was sitting on the floor, Scott's standing next to me, and Lindsay was sitting in a chair. It's pitch black in the room, of course, as usual. And I noticed something pass by me. And when I said that, when I noticed that, I said to Scott, I just saw something move in front of me, so I started snapping photos. That's when we caught a picture of this mist that's in the picture in front of a rocking chair.
It's interesting.
Wow.
Actually, afterwards, we tried going back, and what we like to do is debunk that, because as soon as Mark took that picture, he noticed it on his camera. He noticed that white mist, and as soon as he noticed it, we tried to debunk that. As you can see, my leg's in the picture there. So we thought maybe it was the flash reflecting off my leg, and we actually took a series of pictures after that, and we were not able to recreate that mist whatsoever.
One of the things I've heard of is orbs, the light orbs. One of the theories I've heard is that it could be anything from spirits to light actually hitting on dust particles. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
We pretty much have the same understanding of it.
Okay.
Our group, we don't really hold a lot of water with orbs.
Okay.
99.9% of the time that you take a photograph and you get an orb, it's most likely going to be a dust or a particle orb. What we look for the makeup of an actual orb is it has to have its own light source. It looks like it's lighting up on its own. You know, it's solid. You can't see through it. There's no type of rims on it, no edges. A lot of the dust orbs, you can see right through them. They look like, and actually, if you blow the photo up, it looks like it's a cell underneath a microscope. And that's a pretty good clue of, you know, if it's going to be a pollen or dust or something like that. And they're so easily made. Just walking across the ground, you kick dust up. So if you take a picture right after you walk across the ground, you're going to get those dust orbs.
Okay.
All right, well, this next picture, it seems to be the same rocking chair that's being used. Right. It's in the same location. Was this room?
Yeah, Mark took this picture also. I believe this was right after the mist, wasn't it, Mark?
Yeah. How did you?
Same thing. We were sitting on the floor just after I took the picture with the mist in it. This is what we caught about 5 photos later. After we had already did the debunking for the mist, this was taken.
And the thing about it is you can still, it's a black mist, but you can also still see through it, and you can actually see the rocking chair behind it. And again, like we like to do, is we tried debunking the photo again, putting finger in front of the camera. Thought maybe we'll accidentally put finger in front of the camera lens. The camera string, we tried taking pictures of that, and it was we were not able to recreate it whatsoever. So again, another unexplained black figure.
That's interesting. Now, the third photograph we have here, is that another dark mass of some type?
Yes,
What
it
is that in this photograph?
This is what the owner of the Knickerbocker calls the choking room. She actually had an experience in there one night. She told us afterwards, after she seen this picture, she calls it the choking room because one night she was in this room and she had a sensation that she was being choked. And she was in the corner of the room where this black mist is actually showing up, where she was choked. So again, it's a black unexplained mist.
Wow.
That's pretty interesting.
I wouldn't go back in there. That's just
Yeah, well, we'll get to that a little bit later in the interview. But right now, we're going to go back to our movie. I hope you're enjoying the film so far. And when we come back, we're going to discuss some of the equipment used by ORPIT during their paranormal investigations. So back to the film and enjoy. Okay, and we are back. Hope you guys are enjoying the movie tonight.
Absolutely.
Good show.
Okay, we're going to now in this segment talk about some of the equipment that you take on your paranormal investigations.
Well, we got a bunch of stuff here, as you can see. This is what we call a K2 meter. It's an electromagnetic field detector. It's a little more, it's not so sensitive as our digital readout meters. It's for a couple different uses. This is an infrared camera. This is part of a DVR system we have. We run several cameras. Depending on how big the place is, we run probably 4 of those things. And they run constantly. The whole night we're there, those will be recording in certain hot spots in the haunted place we're at. This is a mini DV camera. It's just a digital recorder, infrared, and that has night vision for recording. Ron, you want to take over with a couple things?
Yeah. Up front, toward front here, that's just an infrared mini thermometer. We just use that to test ambient room temperature. Also, if we get what they call cold spots, we're able to check the different temperatures of the room. be able to follow cold spots actually around the room also. These two machines here in the middle, those would be our EMF detectors, electromagnetic field. We can check different fluctuations in that electromagnetic field. A lot of investigators believe that high EMF means that some type of a ghost or spirit's trying to manifest itself, and we can actually trace, follow that high energy to wherever it's going. Scott, want to finish it up?
Yeah, well, I'm going to go back. I can't believe you forgot the awesome
I was going to
story
ask
go
you
with
about the
K2
K2 story
I
here.
thought you were gonna be
Yeah.
the one
Well, there's an awesome story with this K2 meter. We've changed it to, Mark added this toggle switch on here because we found that if you just push your thumb on here, that your thumb is going to eventually get tired. As everybody's does, your thumb gets tired. So you're going to lose thumb pressure, and the lights are going to be moving back and forth with your thumb getting tired. So Mark put the toggle switch on there so the lights are constantly at one constant pressure. At the Knickerbocker, myself, Ryan, and our other investigator, Larry, was not able, or we were in there asking questions. We had the K2 meter sitting on the bed, and with the K2 meter, you're able to interact with the spirits. As their energy, as they draw more energy, the lights light up more. And we were sitting there asking questions, and we were asking if, you know, what's your name, and the 3 lights would come on, where normally 1 light stays on. And we just kept asking questions, and eventually Ryan asked the question, do you want us here? And the lights would come on. And Ryan said, well, if you don't want us here, give us another sign that you don't. So the lights came on and they stayed on. Ryan's like, to be sure you don't want us here, make the lights go off. All the lights went off on the K2 meter.
And this is
outta there.
This is at the Knickerbocker
This was
Hotel
at the
in
Knickerbocker
Linesville.
Hotel in
Yeah,
Linesville.
Okay. That's very
And later on that night, myself, Mark, and Lindsay actually went back to the bedroom beside that. I had a K2 meter sitting on the couch, and Mark kept wanting to go back in the room, go back in that side room. And I'm like, we shouldn't go in there, Mark. And Mark stuck his camera in there. His camera shut off. The K2 meter went back down to 1 light, and I took a picture, and my picture showed up just complete blackness. So
Oh, man.
K2 meter's been pretty interesting for us. So
We should use something like that on our host, Jack Shadow. You know, in the other room.
sounds like Jack's hiding up in the roof.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what are these things up front? They just look like cell phones to me. What do they do?
Those are the digital voice recorders, and what that is to capture EVPs. And what an EVP is it's just described as a disembodied voice and printed on an audio recording device, which you know, you interact with the spirits. You ask a question, you wait a couple seconds, and if the spirits are there and they want to interact, hopefully they answer your question.
So
And
it would pick up sounds that we might not normally
Correct.
hear ourselves, and it can all
Correct.
be reviewed later.
We've
Correct.
come a long way since the Ouija board, evidently.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Absolutely, absolutely.
have you ever picked up anything like that?
Yes, we have. We actually caught a couple EVPs at the Knickerbocker, and also we have some other EVPs on our website from Gettysburg and other places we've investigated. So
Okay.
And people can see them or hear them on the website?
yes.
What is your website?
It's www.orpit.org.
Yeah, that's great. Hopefully people check that out. I mean, this is just a small percentage of what you actually take, but it's still such an impressive array of gear.
Very expensive.
Oh, I believe that.
I would
It'd be
imagine.
hard for something to slip by you. You're well equipped here.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Oh boy. Yes. What's the most important piece of equipment? Any of these that you just absolutely wouldn't go without?
I think it'd actually be us as for personal experiences.
That's good.
There's nothing better than just a feeling or a cold sensation of some sort to really tell you that something's going to go on.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you this. Okay, going on that, what's to say, do you have a way of telling the difference between just that cold chill that goes up your back, like maybe you've put it in your mindset that we're going to see something or hear something. What's the difference between the imagination and actually conclusive proof? What would you say about that?
Actually, experience for one thing. You can kind of tell the difference, and we're always expecting something. So, just the chill from that you get when you hear something scary, a scary story, kind of rule that out because we know what's going on while we're there. An example of what we're talking about is when we did do the Knickerbocker Hotel, which you guys will be coming with us to the Knickerbocker Hotel,
Right.
which we'll probably talk about in a little while.
Mm-hmm.
When we first got to the Knickerbocker Hotel, our host, she led us into the investigation a little bit different than most people do. When we go to investigation, people normally give us the hot spots, we call it, where there's activity going on. So we know where to set up our cameras and try to capture what's going on. Well, she didn't. She told us, just go around and feel the place out, and when you get a feeling in a place or a reading on your EMF meter, set up your equipment there. So we went with that, and we went around, and we all got some pretty weird feelings in the Knickerbocker hotels. Definitely some strange feelings of heaviness, cold spots, almost an unbalanced feeling when you're walking, almost like you're walking on a crooked surface when it's really flat surface. It's kind of a weird, odd feeling. Well, we went about and set up our equipment in all the spots where we thought that we felt from our personal feelings that there would be activity there, and it's exactly where she would have told us to set the equipment up.
Oh, that is wild.
So there is, that right there credits the feelings that you get when you're in a place like that.
Okay.
It's just amazing. Wow.
Pretty interesting stuff. In our next segment here, we're going to go back to the movie, but when we come back, we're going to be discussing a crew from the show here going with ORPIT to the Knickerbocker Hotel during one of their paranormal investigations. So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about that. So back to the movie. We are back. Okay, now in this segment here, our final segment, we're going to be talking about we're sending a crew out with you guys to the Knickerbocker Hotel, and that should be pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Guys are going to have some fun.
Yeah. Well, now I understand. As you were talking, Scott, during the break here, you were saying how people can actually tune in that night. We're going to be going out on May 10th, Saturday, May 10th, to the Knickerbocker Hotel in Linesville, PA. And you can actually go into your website and watch on the cam on that.
Yeah, actually, it's the
Explain
Knickerbocker's website.
Okay.
We're going to be there, like Brian said, on May 10th. We're going to get there approximately 8 o'clock in the evening. Any viewer at home can log on to the internet. It's www.knickerbockerlinesville.com. And there's a section on there called Action Cam. If you just click on the Action Cam, they actually have a live streaming camera up on the 3rd floor. And we'll be up there a lot that night because we had some experiences up there. It's a live action cam where the viewers can log on and watch us on there. And there's actually a chat room on there where if they see something, they can chat it in there real quick. And we'll have our laptops there also, and we'll be able to chat along with you. So,
Wow. Okay. Well, this is interesting.
So this is your second trip to the Knickerbocker.
yes, that's correct.
And after the first one, I'm not sure you could get me to go back, but there's actually more to your team. There's more members, and they'll be going along this time.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, we have 2 more investigators that's been with us for a while. The first one's Lindsay Sherman, and then we also have Larry Moyer. They'll be with us whenever we actually do the investigation.
How long have they been doing this?
Larry's been with us now for three months maybe. Lindsay's been here pretty much ever since we started, probably priced about 6-7 months, I'd say.
Were all 5 of you at the Knickerbocker
Yes.
Hotel last
Yes.
time? Does this hotel have a history of some type? Like,
The history, the way that we were told, it's the apparitions that are seen there. There's an apparition of a woman wearing a white gown that's been seen. There's apparitions or noises of children in the hotel running up and down stairways. There's also a negative apparition, which it's what we think that we may have caught with those black masses that's been reported there. The hotel was actually built in the 1800s, so it's a relatively old hotel. And it was actually connected to the Opera House, which is located right beside it. So back in the day, the well-to-do citizens would stay at the hotel along with the actors and everybody else that were in the opera, and then they just the building's connected, so they would go from where they were living or sleeping, and they just go over, enjoy the opera, and then return back. And I guess back in the 1800s, that's what went to go out to the opera and have a good night. So
Sure.
One of us that don't have hair, you don't have to get your head all wet.
Yes, I was wondering if this is a requirement to be on your team.
Yeah. Yeah,
no, there's no hair sticking up on the back.
Are you
part.
more prone to attract paranormal activity in this way?
It's a tradition after winter time, it goes. So.
Okay.
Okay, well, we talked about hotels, and I've heard about other haunted hotels, and it just makes me wondering, are there any one type of location that's more prone to paranormal activity, like graveyards or hotels or
Funeral
prisons,
parlors
funeral homes?
Actually, it's anywhere. I mean, you know, sometimes spirits are attracted to a place. You know, maybe they were attracted to that in life and they've passed on, and maybe they can't let it go. So maybe it's that particular place they're attached to. Like I said, we've been to Gettysburg. We've captured things there. I mean, there's a lot of tragedy and history, obviously, behind Gettysburg battlefields. We sat out in the middle of battlefields in the middle of the night. You know, we've captured stuff at graveyards. It's just it's anywhere and everywhere. So. It's not one particular place.
This sounds so scary. How do you do that? Is this dangerous?
I wouldn't say it's dangerous. We're not afraid. We've never had anything bad happen to us. Some people say that you might take a bad entity with you home. We all do our own little ritual of our own before we go into an investigation. You know, say our own little prayer of some sort, just to, you know, keep us safe in our own mind. And I don't feel it's dangerous at all, besides a few little bumps and bruises and walk around in the dark.
You guys are
That's
the
about it.
ones that actually go bump in the dark.
That's us.
We buy Mark shin
Especially
guards
me.
for when he goes on hunts. So.
Absolutely. Well, okay, you were saying about you have your own little personal rituals. What's the difference between a ghost and something like an evil spirit? Is there any difference at all? Anything like we should
Want
know?
to handle that, or?
Anything we should know about before we go with you?
Now, whenever
Fill us in here.
At the Knickerbocker, we're not going to run into anything that's going to hurt us. You know, there's tales. You know, that there's ghosts, there's demons, there's several different types of hauntings. We're almost sure that with the Knickerbocker, we're running into more of a residual haunt, which means it's the same thing, just replays over and over and over. It's like it's imprinted in that area. You can also have a residual and an intelligent haunt in the same building, because if you have one spirit that actually comes up and interacts with you, you know, gives you the answers on the EVP, you ask a question, it gives you an answer, that's an intelligent. That ghost knows that something's going on and he's trying to interact with you. And that's, I think that actually the Knickerbocker has a little bit of both of those, because we had a lot of EVPs that were captured there our first time, which would, you know, show an intelligence was there. And the reports that were given to us, it seems like the same things keep replaying out. So that's basically what we're into. You know, if we were ever to go into an area for a demon, something like that, I'd probably turn around and run myself. So I'm not into that. So.
Well, I don't think we are either, so we'll hopefully try to avoid that.
And to answer your question, a demon is different from a ghost or a spirit. A demon was never a human form, form. So ghosts are normally a ghost of a person or, you know, man or woman. A demon is an entity of something that's never walked the earth.
Okay. You've never run into something like that?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, hopefully
He
we
says
won't
that
on May.
almost like he's looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I am
Not
looking
yet.
forward to it.
Well, hopefully we won't see one on May 10th. Anything else? Actually,
Everything here?
yeah. What should someone do if they think that they have a haunted house? How can they contact you? And who are they going to call? How are they going to call you? I'm sorry, I had to do that.
I was waiting for it. Again, you can go to our website. It's www.orpit.org. It has everything on there with the forms that we ask people to fill out. You know, they get in contact with us, and then after they get in contact with us, we have a couple emails back and forth. You know, then we'll give some phone numbers out and, you know, talk one-on-one with the individual to set up an investigation for them.
Okay. So, just to recap, we will be going out May 10th, Saturday, May 10th, to the Knickerbocker Hotel, Linesville, PA. We're going to send a crew along with ORPIT for their paranormal investigation, and a week or two after that, on an episode of Sleepy Hollow Theater. We'll be showing the results. So make sure you.
Come back.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping we do well there. But so stay tuned. Join us again. Well, just to be on the safe side every week, and we'll show you the results of what we come up with. So, if there's anything else you guys want to mention?
Just thanks for having us here, and can't wait for the investigation.
Thanks for being
Appreciate
a
it very
guest.
much.
Appreciate it.
And we appreciate that. And at this time, we'll get back to our movie.
How many times do I have to tell you, just because something isn't good doesn't mean it's bad?